Disclaimer. All the characters in the storyline of this story is just fictional. It's not related with anybody in real life or the members, so don't take it seriously. Thank you.
Those were the simple words that changed the entire course of Taehyung's life. He was just 18, and his parents set him off with no one other than Jungkook, his father's best friend's son, the golden boy of the nation, the one everyone adored, and the one every girl and boy in his college fantasized about. And now he was supposed to marry him. Ain't no way, like no way. While Taehyung was having a war with himself, Jungkook just simply said yes. He didn't even blink, didn't complain. He just leaned back in his chair with that cocky little smirk and mouthed, "Guess you're mine now," looking at Taehyung while Taehyung felt like ripping those lips off his face. Taehyung literally thought it was a joke, a very elaborate, not funny at all joke. But 1 month later, he was standing in a church, wrapped in a soft white suit, his hands trembling as Jungkook leaned forward to kiss him. But instead, he placed his thumb on Taehyung's lips, kissed his thumb, and whispered low in his ear. Taehyung felt like he should have slapped Jungkook, or even punched that bunny face, but his hands were frozen, while his heart was beating in a way he never expected. To the world, Jungkook was the untouchable heartthrob of the campus. Tattoos, piercings, a killer smile, and a confidence that walked into rooms 5 seconds before he did. Girls and boys chased him down the hallway. Professors let him get away with murder just because he winked. And Taehyung, he was invisible. He liked it that way. Quiet, observant, book-loving, shadow-lurking Taehyung. He wasn't interested in crowds or attention. He wanted to survive college with minimal drama and 0 heartbreaks. But to his bad luck, his legally wedded husband had other plans, because when there was no one around, Jungkook was unhinged. Before Taehyung could finish, Jungkook leaned in closer and whispered those words in Tae's ear, while his grin faded into something softer. Taehyung blinked, his heart skipped, and then... Taehyung kicked Jungkook's leg and disappeared into the library. Jungkook laughed, placed a hand over his heart, trying to calm his rapidly beating chest, and followed behind Taehyung. Their marriage was a secret. That was the deal. Taehyung made it clear after their wedding ceremony. College life first, no drama, no big reveals. At first, Jungkook was not agreeing, but Taehyung's scary eyes made him agree against his will, though of course with conditions of his own. 1. He would get to call Taehyung whatever he wanted when they were alone. 2. He'd be in Taehyung's group for every project, no matter what. 3. He could show up at Taehyung's dormitory unannounced. Taehyung absolutely hated it, but for his peace of mind and a peaceful uni life, he had to agree. Taehyung never knew he could hate anyone this much until he got married to the Jungkook. Well, he said he hated Jungkook, but somehow, even the annoying parts of Jungkook started becoming familiar, like the way Jungkook made stupid faces behind the professors' backs just to make him laugh. How Jungkook always sat behind him in class and passed little doodles of stick figures labeled me, hugging my cute husband. It was lunchtime. The classroom was empty, as their group had gone out to eat, leaving only Taehyung and Jungkook behind. Taehyung was typing on his laptop, focused, and Jungkook was watching him. No, devouring Taehyung with his eyes. Project finished. Their classmates came back. Everything went back to normal, except it didn't, because Taehyung couldn't stop thinking about the way Jungkook's breath felt against his skin, about how close Jungkook had gotten, how intense his eyes had been, how he had almost wanted to kiss him. Almost. But Taehyung quickly shook his head, as he knew this was just a game to Jungkook, a joke, a way to annoy him, right? Taehyung stretched his arms and rubbed his eyes. He finally completed his part of the work, which meant he was free for the whole day. He had nothing else to worry about. He quickly packed his bag. He looked outside through the window and saw it had started to rain. He cursed himself for forgetting to bring his umbrella. Mrs. Kim had called him and told him to take one, but he totally forgot. Taehyung came out and stood in front of the main gate. It wasn't the kind of rain where he could just walk fast and get out. It was heavy, where even if he ran, he'd get soaked. He stared out at the gray sky, gripping his thin sweater tighter around him. He looked around and considered making a run for it. He knew he'd get soaked in the rain. But his dorm was just a 10-minute walk, 15 if he slipped and fell like he always managed to do in front of large crowds. He thought to himself and decided to go when he heard the voice. The walk was quiet at first. Their steps synced automatically, the rain pattering softly above them. Then came the teasing, which never failed to amaze, impress, and annoy Taehyung. Jungkook laughed, loud and full, and for some stupid reason, it made Taehyung's stomach flutter, and he absolutely hated that. Jungkook stopped outside his dorm building, still holding the umbrella above him. The rain had eased now, just a soft drizzle. A raindrop clung to his cheek. He went to wipe it, but Jungkook's hand moved first. He brushed it away gently, his fingers brushing against Taehyung's skin. They stared at each other for a second, before Taehyung moved, but to his bad luck, he slipped. His eyes widened, and a gasp left his mouth. But before he could fall, Jungkook grabbed him and pulled him closer to him. He held Taehyung tightly, as if his life depended on it, while Taehyung felt his heart skip a beat. He could hear his heartbeat, and he was damn sure even Jungkook could hear it. Taehyung looked up at Jungkook, and something in his eyes changed, just a flicker, like he wanted to say something but didn't. After collecting his books from the ground, he went towards his classroom. As soon as he entered, Jungkook's eyes lit up. He smiled, but his smile faded when Taehyung ignored his whole existence and sat with Jack. Fucking Jack. The guy who just can't leave his husband away. He clenched his jaw, staring at them. The class was over, everybody had gone out for lunch, but Tae stayed back, pretending to review the data on his laptop. Really, he just wanted peace, quiet, and a break from the swirling rumors that Hana had been spreading again. Rumors like how Jungkook had kissed her, which was a lie, but he wasn't going to ask Jungkook. Why should he ask? Taehyung sighed and turned back to his screen, heart pounding. No matter what he says, he really likes when Jungkook does that. And why does it always work on him? Taehyung still couldn't move on from what Hana said. Why was it mattering to him so much? It's not like they were a real couple. After some days, they would eventually separate. Then why couldn't he just stop thinking about Jungkook? Taehyung sighed and entered his room. He knew something was wrong with him. He hadn't been feeling well since morning, and on top of that, Hana added more to his headache. His head pounded, his body burned with fever, and he barely made it to his bed before collapsing. He didn't remember calling anyone, but the next thing he knew, he woke up to the sound of keys jingling and the scent of clean laundry and Jungkook's cologne. He groaned and moved his body. He slowly blinked and opened his eyes. He frowned, looking at the ceiling. The ceiling above him wasn't his dorms. It was their home, the place he stayed for 2 weeks after the wedding before running back to campus life. The next few days passed in a blur of medicine, soup, and Jungkook being surprisingly gentle. He cooked. He even brushed Tae's hair once when he was too weak to move. Jungkook didn't push, didn't tease, just stayed by his side, quietly humming songs while scrolling through his phone.
Ding dong!
It's been a week since Taehyung moved to the apartment, and since then he was taking leave from uni to take care of Tae. Jungkook also didn't go to uni. As he is fully recovered, Tae thought to rejoin the class. Taehyung came near the gate. He looked around to see Jungkook, but he didn't see him. He took a deep breath and entered inside. Taehyung walked toward his locker. He didn't know why he was getting this weird vibe. His stomach twisted as he saw everyone's eyes on him. He shook his head and opened his locker to keep his bag. But what he saw next made his whole world fall apart. He could feel tears building in his eyes, while his heart started to beat fast. He quickly took those things from the locker and crumpled it, squeezing it hard in his hand. He removed his helmet and took the key and a bag full of strawberries. While whistling, he entered inside the campus. His eyes roamed around to find one person, but he didn't find him. He made a dissatisfied face and walked ahead. He went and sat in his chair, patiently waiting for Taehyung to come. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, he sighed, growing impatient. It's been 6 hours. The whole university was upside down. Every professor and student trembled in fear. They were all locked inside the campus, and in front of them were the powerful people of the state, the Kims and the Johns, the people you don't want to mess with if you want to live a peaceful life.